guys, this is Erin with 5 Parks Yoga. Thank you so much for joining me for the Run the Year Yoga Challenge. This class is designed specifically for your legs. So once again, I'll just remind you, if you haven't yet checked out the intro and the warm-up video, you can always tack that on to this practice. But without further ado, we're just going to be focusing on legs, your whole legs, your calves, your hamstrings, your quadriceps, your knees. You'll get a little bit of ankle work in there as well. I know if you're doing a lot of running and walking, you might have very, very tight legs. So this practice you can just add to the end of a run and get all stretched out before you move on with your day or your evening. All right, so let's go ahead and start in a seated position. We're just going to take a couple breaths here, and then we'll get into some deep stretches. So close your eyes, breathe in through your nose, sit up tall, hold it at the top, let it go through your mouth. And just 2 more breaths here, in and out through your nose. You can open your eyes. Continue to focus on your breath throughout your yoga practice. It's a really, really important part of yoga. I know it's an important part of running. The breathing work is a little bit different, but as you hold poses, if they're really intense for you and you're tight, really ramp up the breathing, okay? So slow, smooth, steady, controlled breaths in and out through your nose. The first posture we're gonna do today is in yoga. It's called hero pose. This pose is for your ankles, shins, knees, and quads, all right? So come onto your shins. I'll give you some modifications if you're super tight in this area of your body. Bring your knees to touch, separate your heels to about mat distance apart, or just wide enough so that you can sit your hips between your heels. Now roll your calves out of the way and go ahead and come into a seated position. Tight knees, tight hamstrings. This could be very uncomfortable for you. So if you have I don't have a yoga block with me, but if you have a yoga block, you can sit on a yoga block. If you don't have a yoga block, you can sit your hips up on, or your booty up on some books, so you have more height, okay? If you can't make it all the way down here. Most importantly, like I'll tell you again, you want a long, tall spine. So make any modifications so that you can sit and hold this posture. So sitting up tall, resting your hands on your thighs. Now, if your quads, knees are very open and you want a deeper stretch, or maybe you practice this over and over and you want to take it further, you can come, place your hands behind you, come onto your forearms, okay? Or if you even want to go deeper, you can come down onto your back. This pose, if you're reclined, is actually a little back bend, so you do want your low back raised up off the floor in a little arch. People ask me that question all the time. Now, I've had several knee surgeries, so this pose is pretty intense for me and has been very, very healing for my knees. So essentially what you're doing, oh, and you're getting a stretch in your hip flexors. Do you feel that if you're reclined? So what you're doing is cutting off some circulation in your knees. And then you're gonna, when you release the pose, the blood is gonna just rush back into these areas, and it's very, very healing for your joints. The same thing is happening in your ankles. Again, make any modifications that you need to hold the pose. Change actually happens when you're able to hold the pose. Connect to your breath, and we'll just take one more big breath here, wherever you are. Okay, I'm reclined, so I'm gonna sit up, but I'll meet you back up in a seated position. If you're able to hold this position, we're gonna just extend the right leg long. This is called half hero forward fold. So feel that rush of blood back into your knee. I love it, feels super good. You can shake it out if you need to. If you're feeling like there is no way you can hold your left leg in half hero position anymore, release and just take your foot to your inner thigh, okay? Either way. And then we're gonna forward fold over our right leg. So this is a hamstring stretch now. So you can, If you feel like you're gonna rock off to one side, you can just support yourself with your right hand and then just reach your left arm toward your toes. And again, it might not be very far, and that's fine. Okay, we're working in this direction. All I want is for you to feel a stretch in your right hamstring while you continue to stretch your left quadricep, the top of your left leg. Couple breaths here. Okay, release. Now you're gonna take your left leg out of half hero. You can even give your legs a shake on the way to our next posture. Feels really good, feeling that blood rush back into my left leg. We're gonna take it into a twist. So just take your left foot up and over your right leg. Sit up tall, like in every other posture, sit up tall. You're gonna either wrap your arm around your left knee, left hand out behind you, sit up tall, look out over your shoulder, or you can hook your elbow to the outside of your knee as long as you can keep your spine upright. So avoid this, okay? Even if it means you're only twisting this far. Imagine your spine is a spiral staircase and you're just twisting from the base of your spine up to the crown of your head. Big belly breath in through your nose. Breathe into your belly, exhale out your nose. Contract your core. And release from your twist. Take both legs out in front of you. This posture in yoga is called Paschimottanasana or seated forward fold. That's just the name of the posture in Sanskrit. So you want both sitting bones grounded and you want a tall spine. Now again, if your hamstrings are really, really tight and you can't sit up tall, bend your legs as much as you need so that you can stay upright. No hunching or rounding with straight legs, okay? So you're hinging from your hips, reaching toward your feet or whatever you can make contact with. Continue to breathe in and out through your nose. It's fine if your posture doesn't look like mine. It does not need to. I do yoga every day, so I've worked toward gaining some, flexibility in my postures just with practice. So it's okay if your posture doesn't look like this. I want you to feel a stretch in your hamstrings, your hips, your low back. Take another breath here. Okay, release. We're gonna do the other side, we're gonna go backwards. So we'll take the twist first. So what you're gonna do is take your left foot up and over, your right leg up and over your left leg. So plant your right foot on the floor, sit up tall, right hand behind you. You can wrap your arm around your leg and hold it to sit upright, or you can hook your elbow to the outside of your knee. Again, twisting from the base of your spine, looking out over your shoulder. Breathe in through your nose and breathe into your belly. So let your belly expand on your inhale. Exhale, little contraction of your core. And release from your twist. Your right foot is either going to come to your left inner thigh or back into half hero. So if you come back into half hero, you're taking your shin back to the floor. Ground both sitting bones. So if you feel like you're rolling off to the side, use your left hand for support. And then you can hinge over your left leg. So this is great. You're getting, a lot is happening here. Getting a stretch in your right quadricep, you're getting a stretch in your left hamstring. Flex your toes up and back, so you're getting a stretch in your Achilles and your calf. Take another breath here. Release from your fold, wherever you are. Release your right leg. Give it a shake. Okay, let's take a stretch for the inner thighs. We'll just take seated straddle splits. I'm just gonna face you here so I can have my feet on my mat, but whatever works for you is fine. So in seated straddle splits, in yoga, it's a little different than what you might think of in gymnastics. You want your legs really, really active. So toes, knees point straight up to the sky or the ceiling. You want your toes active, sitting bones grounded, and your spine tall. So if you need to place your hands behind you for support to keep your upright spine, go ahead and do that. You can have your legs at any distance apart. Just feel a stretch right here, your inner thighs. But your quadriceps, the tops of your legs, are active. Maybe so much so that your heels lift up off the floor. If you are pretty open in your inner thighs and you want to come forward, feel free to do that, but try to do it with a straight spine. So instead of just rounding forward, it's not really doing much good if you're just rounding your spine. You want to be hinging from your hips. Active in your legs, don't let them roll in. So yoga, most postures, it is this nice balance of stretch and strength. So you don't just flop into a posture, whether you're tight or not. You want to stay active and have nice, integrity in the posture. So just focus on your muscles as you stretch them, and that helps you avoid any overstretching that could possibly happen. So don't push it to the point that you're like, ow, what just happened? Okay, it's that fine line of little discomfort, but not pain. You shouldn't feel pain. Okay, come all the way back up. You can just use your hands to assist you in bringing your legs in. And from this position, it's a perfect place to go into in yoga. It's called Baddha Konasana, which is butterfly pose. So place your feet, the soles of your feet together. And again, tall spine, sitting bones grounded. You can wrap your hands around your ankles. And then if you want more of a stretch, elbows to knees, hinge forward, deep breaths in and out through your nose. If you want an additional ankle stretch, you can separate your feet and just kind of open them up like a book. I think that kind of feels good, but if it doesn't feel good to you, you don't have to do it. Hold it for a couple more breaths. Just really notice the sensations in your hips, your inner thighs, your low back. And if it's really intense, just connect. Ramp up your breath. Listen to your breath. Come all the way back up. If you're hinged forward, release, bring your knees together. And then go ahead and roll down onto your back. We'll reserve your hips for, you got a little bit of hip work in there, but for another class. So make sure you check out the hip class too. Lay all the way down, let your feet fall open, arms rest alongside your body. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Hold it at the top. Let it go through your mouth. Just come back to the natural rhythm of your breath. Just take a moment in silence and stillness to notice the sensations in your body. If you have the space and the time, I highly recommend just take a couple more minutes in Savasana. It's such a treat after a yoga class. Thanks so much for joining me today. Today, as you go forward, may you have peace in your thoughts, your words, and your heart. From my heart to yours, namaste.